So let's look at signs of child abuse. Child abuse is when someone who can be an adult or a child harms a child. It can be physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, and can also involve a lack of love, care, or attention. Neglect and emotional abuse can be just as damaging as physical and sexual abuse, so it is important to watch and be aware of the signs. A child might be suffering from more than one type of abuse, so the following are just guidelines for you. Please take note if you see any significant changes in a child's behaviour. In over 90% of abuse cases, the perpetrators are someone the child knows or trusts. They can be parents or family members, caregivers, friends, teachers, police officers, spiritual leaders, healthcare workers, or even strangers, and there can even be other children. Perpetrators report that they look for quiet, troubled, lonely children from single-parent families that they can take advantage of. Children with disabilities are also at a far greater risk of being abused. This is because they may be dependent on the abuser for their care. They may be unable to communicate that they are being abused. Or they may not understand that they are being abused. So let's look at the signs of abuse. Firstly, we'll start with physical abuse. Physical abuse is the intentional act of causing injury to a child. So, what are the signs? The child's appearance. Look for unusual bruises, welts, burns, or fractures. Bite marks. If a child has frequent injuries that are always explained as accidental, or if an explanation doesn't match the injury. Also look for children wearing long sleeves or other concealing clothing to hide injuries, especially if the clothing is inappropriate for the type of weather. Things to look for in the child's behaviour. Unpleasant, hard to get along with, unusually shy or avoiding other people. They may be too anxious to please. They may appear to be afraid of their parents, or they may show little or no distress at being separated from their parents. Another indication is that if a child flinches or withdraws when you approach them. Children may also have problems with sleeping, nightmares, or bedwetting. Please take note of any changes in a child's behaviour, as it may be important. Signs of neglect. Neglect is when a parent or caregiver willingly fails to provide the basic needs for the well-being and development of a child. This can include clothing, nutrition, medical care, emotional and physical needs. So let's have a look at what signs to look for. Child's appearance. Poor hygiene, dirty hair, or body odour. Clothing could be inappropriate for the weather. The child could be in need of medical or dental care. Child's behaviour. Often tired, no energy, lethargic, begs or steals food, frequent lateness or absence from school, defiant behaviour, low self-esteem. Signs of emotional abuse. Emotional abuse can be especially damaging and have long-term effects on children. This abuse can include such things as belittling, constant criticizing, degrading, unreasonable expectations, manipulation, and emotional neglect, to name a few. Child's appearance. These signs may be less obvious than other forms of abuse. Behaviour is probably the best indication. Withdrawal from friends and social activities, frequent lateness or absence from school, loss of self-esteem, defiant behaviour, and changes in school performance. Signs of sexual abuse. There are two types of sexual abuse: non-contact and contact. Non-contact sexual abuse can include exposing of private parts to a child, showing a child pornography, making a child pose in sexually influenced pictures, exposing a child to sexual acts, getting children to perform sexual acts over the phone. Contact sexual abuse can include any sexual touching of a child's body, including the child's mouth, penetration of the child with a body part or object, or making a child touch someone sexually. Child's appearance: torn, stained, or bloody underclothing, experiences pain, bruising, or itching in genital areas, has a sexually transmitted infection, recurrent urinary tract infections. Child's behaviour: sexual behaviour or knowledge that is inappropriate for the child's age group, inappropriate sexual touching of other children, abrupt change in behaviour, extreme reluctance to be touched in any way.